Hello, geometry students. So far in Chapter 12, we've been talking about finding the lateral area and the surface area of prisms, cylinders, pyramids, and cones. And so now in 12-4, we're going to move on to volume. And so I have a picture here, and I'm asking, what is the volume or the number of cubes of this figure? So in surface area, we're talking about like wrapping a present and finding the area of the outside of the paper. In volume, you're talking about the number of cubes that it takes to build something. And so you probably already have this answer, but I have 9 cubes on the bottom here, 3 by 3. So my bottom row would have 9 cubes, and then I have 3 stacks of those. So I would take 9 times 3, and I would get 27 cubes. And so that would be the volume. And so when you're talking about volume of a prism or a cylinder, what you're going to do is you're going to take the area of the base, which is what I did here. I found the base to have 9 cubes, and then you're going to multiply it by the height, how many rows you have of it. And so we're going to use this basic formula to solve a number of different prisms and cylinders. So let's take a look at our examples that we have in our notes packet. We have to find the volume. Remember, volume is the base area times the height of the prism. So first you have to figure out what the base is. And so when you're looking at this figure, this is a trapezoidal prism because the base is a trapezoid, and it's a prism because it's maintaining its shape throughout. So if you were thinking the base was 6 by 4, that is incorrect. The 2 faces that are identical are trapezoids. So to find your volume, you need to find the trapezoid area, and then you need to times it by the height. So to find my trapezoid, I'm going to take my 2 bases, and I'm going to add them together, which is 2 plus 4. I'm going to divide that by 2, and then I'm going to multiply by the height of the trapezoid, which is 1.5. And then I'm going to multiply that by the height of the prism, and the height of the prism is 6. All right, so I'm going to take 2 plus 4, which is 6, divided by 2, which is 3, multiply it by 1.5, and then by 6. I'm getting that volume to be 27. Now I'm talking about the number of cubes, so it's centimeters cubed. Let's take a look at example number 2. Again, we have a prism, so to find the volume of a prism, you take the base area, and then you multiply it times the height of the whole prism. And so once again, if you were thinking that that was the base, that is incorrect. The base has to have the 2 faces that are identical. These are the 2 faces that are identical, and they run parallel to each other. Also, that base has to maintain its shape throughout. So I need to find the area of a triangle is what I need to do here. I don't have this one, but this is 30. I don't have this. This is 60. This is a right angle, and this is 12. So for my volume, I need to try and find the triangle's area, and then I'm going to multiply it times the height of the whole prism. So in order to find my triangle's area, I need base times height divided by 2. So I need my base and my height here. And so this is the hypotenuse. So my short leg is going to be 6, and my long leg is going to be 6 root 3. So now to find the area of the triangle, I'm going to take half 6 root 3 times 6, and then I need the height of the prism, which is 15. Now, let's go ahead and do some canceling here. My 2 and my 6 can cancel. That gives me 3. So I'm going to take 3 times 6 times 15, and that's going to get me 270 root 3. If they were asking me for an exact answer, that's what I'd be writing down. I believe your book is going to ask you for decimals, so you can go ahead and punch that in your calculator. 467.7 feet cubed. Let's move on to example number 3. Again, I'm looking for the volume. So remember, your volume is your base area times the height of the prism. And so the first thing you need to do is figure out, what does your base look like? It's not 5 by 9, it is the triangles. Those triangles are the bases. They maintain their shape throughout, they're parallel. And so again, to find my volume, I need to find a triangle area, and then I need to multiply the height of the prism. So I'm going to pull that triangle out. 5, 5, and 5. So this is a 60, 60, 60. So I'm going to drop this down. That's 60, that's 30. This is 2.5. So the height of the triangle is 2.5 root 3, using my 30, 60, 90 relationships there. So to find the area of my triangle, I'm going to take half. The base of my triangle is 5. The height of my triangle is 2.5 root 3. And the height of the whole prism is 9. And so again, I'm going to cancel here. I'm going to write 2.5. So I'm going to take 2.5 times 2.5 times 9. And that's going to get me 56.25 root 3, which is really 56.
Mitch Hefty, report to Mrs. Miles' room at this time, please. Mitch Hefty to Mrs. Miles' room.
And a 4th root 3. I'm writing this really as proper radical here, proper mathematics. So what I need to do at this point is take my 56 times 4, and then I'm going to add 1 to it. So that's going to get me 225 root 3 over 4. You know, and I did take things like this on quizzes and stuff like that, but we do want to talk about the proper mathematics as we move into Algebra 2. Now that would be if I wanted an exact answer. Your book does ask you to write them in decimal form, so I could have just typed in a calculator, 56 and 2500ths times root 3, and got 97.4 inches cubed. All right, let's move on to number 4. In this example, I have to find the volume again, and my volume is my base area times the height of the whole prism. And so in this example, I have a hexagonal prism, so a hexagon is my base. So in order to find my base area, I'm going to use my apothem times my perimeter divided by 2, and then I'm going to times it by the height of the whole prism. So I'm going to need my perimeter, which I'm going to be able to get because I know the side, but I have to find my apothem. So I'm going to pull out my hexagon here. I'm going to draw my triangle. When I drop this down, each side is 1. I have 6 triangles. If I draw my triangles, and you guys probably have this memorized, a hexagon, the interior angle is 360 divided by 6. So each one of those angles is 60, making each side here 30, 60, and then 90. So my apothem is going to be root 3. So now I'm going to go in my volume. My apothem is root 3. I have 2 for my side, so 2 times 6 is 12, so my perimeter is 12. I'm going to divide that by 2. And now I need the height of my prism. Here's the height of my prism, which is 11. So all of this work would have to be shown as you're working out in your homework, people. So now volume. I'm going to cancel. So if I asked you for an exact answer, you would go 6 times 11, 66 root 3. Your book does allow you to write those as decimals. So when you punch that into your calculator, you get 114.3 meters cubed. So now we're focusing on finding the volume. So as you're working with prisms, remember you take the base area and multiply it times the height. And also remember that your bases have to be two faces that are parallel and are exactly the same shape. So people, you have an awesome evening, and I will see you in class tomorrow.